Good morning. Good morning. I want to say hello, and let me know that you're here. Hold on, I'm trying to get everything active and live. Beautiful. So as you get here, make sure you say hello and let me know that you're here. Give me one more minute to do one more thing. Let's see, where am I at? All right, hold on. Almost there. Almost there. All right. Perfect. So today I'm super excited to be here with you guys. And, for those that are not familiar with me, I'm a master transformational coach and a hypnotist. My name is Vickie Poole. And I am the founder of the Stand Up and Stand Out community, which most of you are in that community. And I have a podcast. I'm a part of several groups that we do amazing things. I'm co-creators with a couple of different amazing women, Christine Stresspack and Sue Anderson, and we do so much. And we have the three of us have a retreat coming up next month. And I can't believe it's almost here, but I'm going to be posting a little bit more about it because it's going to be off the chain. We're so excited. It's in Tennessee at Sue's retreat center that she's been creating for 2 years. She's been there homesteading and getting things set up to start. And so we're going to be having the privilege of being the first people to actually be there for a retreat. And like I said, it's going to be off the chain. There are so many things that you're going to learn. Just a little tip of the iceberg is one of the things that Sue has been doing in her location is she's been going through and learning the land and learning what plants have medicinal purposes. And so she's going to actually be showing us and sharing with us how you can look at a plant and decide, what's the medicinal purposes of it and how do you want to use that. So you have so much in your arsenal for your health that you wouldn't have had before. And if you've been diving into that a little bit, you definitely want to be there because she's going to give us some tips and tricks that are going to be amazing. And I'm super excited to learn all that from her. And then Christine is a certified Pilates instructor and several different other things, but she's going to take us through some special workouts that will be more of getting in tune with who you are and not necessarily just balls to the walls kind of workout, and it may be, I don't know, but I know it's going to really help you in moving your body. You can get so much clarity. And then I am the mindset coach and the hypnotist. And so we'll be doing some breathing, we'll be doing some journaling, we'll be doing some resetting of some of our limiting beliefs. So there's a lot more than that will be happening over that weekend. It's a 3-day, and I will share what the dates and the times and the cost of the investment that you have to provide in order to get this amazing time with us. And so I'm super excited. But now I want to go ahead and go into our talk for today. And I don't really have any notes for today. This is just something that came up, and I just wanted to share some insights about it, as we've talked before about how sometimes opportunities show up as obstacles, and those that have been following me for a while know a lot of the things that I've talked about with that. And I've talked about how sometimes when something is delayed, there's a reason, right? It may be that it's not the right thing, or maybe there's something that we need to learn to move on, but so much, right? So The thing that happened to me recently, and you may think this has nothing to do with any of this, but I promise you it does. I had an air fryer. It's a Pampered Chef air fryer. And my daughter and I love this thing, right? There's just so much that it can do. And one day when I plugged it in, it kind of flashed a little bit and we moved the plug around and it worked. And then all of a sudden it quit working. And so I set it to the side. A friend of mine gave me a different kind of air fryer to use while I was trying to see about getting a new one like that one, because that one does so much, right? Those that haven't looked at the Pampered Chef one, definitely to give it a look. It's definitely well worth the money. And I'll put a link in the comments because my sister is a representative of Pampered Chef. And so she would love it if you decide to get one, if you would purchase through her. All right. So anyway, when it quit working, it was like I just kind of set it off to the side and said, well, I don't want to put it in the trash because, they don't pick up metals and stuff like that. And I don't want to donate it because it doesn't work. So we can't do that. And so my sister, her husband takes their bigger items to the dump, several times, well, a couple of times a month, I believe. And so I had asked her if he would mind taking that to the dump. I could give him a few bucks for the thing or whatever. And she said, no, don't worry about it. Just bring it over. I said, well, I'll bring it now. She said, no, bring it closer to time because I don't want it just sitting around. So I said, okay, well, every single time I was going to take it over there, because I had it calculated when it would be time, I just missed it. He had just gone or whatever. And so he wasn't, I couldn't take it over there. And then other times now this was going on for over a month, maybe 2 months. I don't even remember how long, probably 2 months. And so then I would be going to take it over there and something would happen where I had to do something else, or I wasn't feeling well, or she wasn't feeling, or something continuously was happening where I couldn't take it over there to go to the dump. And so just recently, like last week, my brother and my mom went on a cruise. So I took them to the airport and then I was going to be picking them up at the end of the week. So on Saturday, this past Saturday, I was supposed to go pick them up at the airport. And I got to thinking about it as they were gone and they were having fun, that my stepfather a lot of times loves tinkering with things, all kinds of things, right? And I thought, what if it's fixable? So I called them and I asked him, I said, if I bring you the air fryer, can you take a look at it? I said, if you can fix it, great. If not, then I'll just pick it back up and I'll just take it to my sister's house to go to the dump. And he said, sure. So yesterday he calls me and he says, have you bought another air fryer yet? And I said, no. I said, why? Do I need to? He said, no, it's fixed. And so that delay of all of these times I was trying to take this thing to the dump and I was going to buy another one. Now it's fixed. It's sitting in my kitchen. It's working. It's great. And so that really got me to thinking about it. How many times in my life has something been delayed that I wanted to do, that the delay ended up being a blessing, right? And so I wonder for you, how about you? How many times have you had a delay in your life that ended up being a blessing? Interesting thought, right? So that's kind of what I wanted to really focus on today, is that the first thing when something comes up and you've got in your mind that this is the way it's supposed to go, I want you to rethink that and just allow yourself to say, what if this delay, this obstacle is exactly what I need to get to where I want to be? And there's so many times, like in my life, now that was just one little thing, right? But in the scheme of things, it was pretty big. because replacing that exact item was going to cost me, I don't even remember how much it is now, but all I had to do was have that cord replaced. So look through your life and see what is going on right now that you're kind of like, ah, I can't believe this is happening again. Ah, I can't believe. Hello, hello, Village Food Season. Nice to have you here. Yes. So the thing is look at your life. What's going on that you're really, really wishing it was going different? And how can you look at it and see? How can you look at it and see how maybe that could be a blessing in disguise? Now, it's like one of my favorite things to say about this is anybody that listens to country music and is familiar with Garth Brooks, there was a song that he did years ago, and it's the only thing that comes to mind when I'm talking about this, and it was "Thank Heaven for Unanswered Prayers." And in the song, he's in a relationship that he wants desperately to work out, desperately, and he is doing everything he can to get this relationship to work out, and it doesn't. And so he's sad, and it's just, I can't believe this didn't work. And then he ends up meeting the perfect person for him in this song, and everything works out amazingly. And so he says in the song, thank God for unanswered prayers. So there's so many times that we're praying and wishing and hoping for things to be a certain way when it's not really the best way for us. But we can't see it. And that's one of the things I say, like I'm a transformational coach and a hypnotist. And as a coach, what I do is I look at what's going on with you through conversation and really diving into things. And then I can actually see like an aerial view of where you're at. And I can help you to see where this roadblock is not something that's holding you back. It's moving you into a better place. And that's what coaches do. And I have a coach that helps me. I check in 5 days a week with this coach, and because that's what works for me. And sometimes it's just simple little things that I need a little push with. And then sometimes it's big. But having a coach, even though I am a coach, is paramount for me getting where I can see sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. And so it helps me to take off those blinders and see. And right now we're working a lot on some of my limiting beliefs, because we all have them. I don't care how amazing your life may be. You've got a limiting belief somewhere. And we're like an onion, the proverbial onion, Donkey on Shrek talks about the layers in the onions, and it is so true. And so as you're peeling off a layer of what you want to do, then there's another layer shows up. And that's one of the things I explain to my clients, because somebody comes to me for weight loss. It's not the weight that's the issue. It's the actual surface visible thing that is representative of what's going on. And so we have to peel back some layers to get to that space. And so for me right now, I said I'm working with my limiting beliefs because there's some few things that just keep popping up. And I know it's somehow tied to some limiting beliefs. So I'm going through these limiting beliefs one by one, peeling back that layer of the onion, because you just don't know what you don't know. And when you're inside something, you can't see what's going on. Like my friend Sue always says, you can't read the label on the jar when you're in the jar. And it's the same thing. You can't see what's going on when you're immersed in the situation. And you can't solve anything by focusing on the actual problem or what you think is a problem. And most of the time, those problems, those things that aren't going right, are actually propelling us into a different viewpoint, a different idea, a different way of seeing things. And that's what helps us grow. That's what helps us to get into a place where we're strong enough to handle whatever it is we're wanting to work on. So what do you think? As you're thinking about this, where are the things in your life that seem to be holding you back? How could they actually be viewed as something that's helping you? It's an amazing way to reframe what's going on, because it's like we can, like I was looking at my air fryer that I was talking about earlier. To me, that was like, I can't believe now this isn't working. First thing my thoughts was, okay, it doesn't work. Let's trash it. And we do that with our business and in our lives too. A business that seems to be not doing exactly what you want it to do. A lot of times people give up because they think that that's where it's going to stay. But the thing is most people give up right before everything blooms. And, Sue and I have the group, Mining Your Acres of Diamonds. And that's kind of how that's based. Because if you've never heard the story about the Acres of Diamonds, there are people that have, it was a speech, like why can I not think of the name of it? But anyway, it was a speech that they turned into a book because it was so powerful. And it's all about how we give up before we've hit the diamonds in the diamond mine, before we hit that streak of gold when we're digging in the ground, because you can't see it. One of the things in the story is there's a man that has a piece of property, and he is mining for diamonds, and he can't seem to find diamonds. And so he ends up selling this property for almost nothing because he can't seem to get anywhere, right? But then the new person goes and hires a person that comes in and evaluates where everything's at and really looks at, where these veins might be and all this stuff. And they say, okay, all you need to do is shift slightly in this direction and you're going to hit. And sure enough, they hit the biggest diamond excavation at that time than they'd ever seen. And so that man who sold his property for almost nothing was just inches away from the biggest diamond strike ever, right? He was so close. So he gave up right before. And that's what most people do. Things are hard. And I will say with my coaching business, there was a few times I wanted to give up because it was like, nobody's listening, nobody's watching, I'm not getting any clients, I'm not doing this. And I feel like I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to do to be able to reach people. And it just doesn't seem to be working. And I came so close to giving up. And then I thought, well, if I give up, then I know I'll never be able to help these people. I know I'll never be able to help someone who's stuck in their life to move on. And that just didn't seem right. So I decided to stay the course. And so my obstacle was, where do I need to shift? My 2 inches of shift, right? Just where do I need to shift to make it better? And that's when things started changing. That was when I started reaching more people. I started doing more things. I have made some of the most amazing friends through this process too. So where in your life are you ready to give up when you might just be 2 inches from the biggest diamond mine strike in history? Before you give up, get somebody to come and look at it, right? and see, where do you need to pivot? What would help you? Right now, Christine and I have this beta program that we're doing with someone that's in one of our groups. And we reached out to her because we could see she was really trying to do some things in her business, but she wasn't getting the momentum that she wanted. And one of the things that Christine and I were doing was we were working with creating a program that gives you like this roadmap of 90 days to get to this place in your business. And so what we did was we asked her, would you be willing to be our beta tester? And she said, sure. So we get together, we created this form for her to fill out. Then we took that form and we created this landmark plan of how to get her to where she wants to go with a step-by-step. And she is just slaying it. She's doing amazing things. And so we're going to be getting together with her this week to actually have a Zoom call and work through a few little things to help her tweak as she goes. She's only, this will be week 3, I think. I think this will be week 3 or week 4. I can't remember. But the difference that she's had just from having more clarity on what she's doing and the steps to take to make the difference. Because sometimes we know exactly what to do. We know what we want, but we haven't hired the person to come in and look at our Dharma mind to see where do we need to be digging. And so that's what we're doing with her. We're showing her the pivots and where she needs to be digging. And so I'm super excited when that it's a 90-day thing with her. And we're just going through it with her for 90 days to test out our theory as well as help her. And so that's going to help us tremendously with where do we need to pivot, right? And like I said, I work with a coach 5 days a week to help me with my limiting beliefs. So what are you doing right now to help you to see your blind spots, to figure out where you're stuck and what to do about it? That's my superpower, is I help people to get unstuck. And if you're in a place where you feel stuck and you don't know, I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you and help you see what's one little tiny thing that you could do that would get you out of that space that you're in. And then if you want to work with me for more clarity, great. But if not, that's okay. And if I can't help you, I will definitely, as many people as I know in this industry, I can give you the perfect person. Or maybe sometimes when I've done this, I've given 3 different names. These 3 people I think would be great. Interview them and see if they will work for you. Because just because somebody gets on a call with me doesn't mean it's the right fit. But I can help you get to the right fit. All right. So I hope you have a tremendous day, and getting a little more clarity on where your diamond strike is going to hit, and to look at your life and say, when this isn't working out, what is the blessing in that? And that would be an amazing thing to journal on. So your journal prompt would be, what is in my life seems like an obstacle? And just brain dump everything that shows up. Everything that shows up. And then take each one of them and look at them. And what's the one that seems to be the most prevalent? Start there and just reframe it. What about that could actually be a blessing? I remember my air fryer, I couldn't get it to the dump, and then it ends up being fixed. And then what about the relationship thing? You're praying and wishing and hoping and that it all works out. And when it doesn't, you're devastated. But then you meet the person that is just meant for you, right? So where in your life is anything like that going on? Hello. R. Forbes. Hello. So evaluate your life just a little bit. Do some journaling on that. And then, like I said, if you want some clarity and some help with that, I'm more than happy to have a conversation. So I will have in the description, I will have my Calendly link, and you can schedule a little short conversation so that we can work through that and see. And I also want to remind you that I know I've talked a little bit about my book because it's been published, but I'm just got notification that my copies are going to be showing up in the next day or two. And thank you for the blessings. Thank you. So as soon as they come, I'll be doing an unveiling of it because I'm so excited to get this physical book in my hand. And then I'm going to do some different little lessons around the book. And I've got a little mini workshop that I'm working on that will be really good. And it's great for entrepreneurs. It's great for anybody that seems like they're what feels like their journey in life doesn't seem to be measuring up. It's going to be great. And so just keep watching for that and you'll definitely get an invite. But in the meantime, I will have the link to my calendar in the comments or in the description, and just schedule a call and let's talk. So you have an ultra blessed day, and I will see you next Monday. Love you guys.